channel. So I'm going to be showing you guys this very simple top. This is going to be a very quick tutorial I'm making with just 1 yard. So the next thing I'm going to do, I've already done it. So I cut out this here, my front panel and my back panel. The back panel has like a zip allowance at the back. So what I did here is just to divide your bust measurement by 4 and then add 1 inch to it. So I divided the bust measurement I'm working with, which is 40, divided by 4, that's 10. So I have 11 plus 1, so I have 11 here. And then that's what I used to cut out my back panel. And as you can see, my back panel has about 1.5 inch at the center back here. So let's start putting in the measurements here. So the length depends on you. You can make yours cropped, you can make yours longer than that. So whatever you decide to use, for me, you can go ahead and add 1.5 or 1 inch to it if you're going to use lining. So I'm going to use lining for this here. So I'm going to use lining to fold the end. That's why I added 1 inch to the length. So half an inch for joining this top part, half an inch for the bottom part here. So let's move over to the top here. So my shoulder measurement that I'm working with is 15.5 divided by 2. That's going to be about 7.75. So I'm going to put that in here, and then I'm going to join my armhole. The armhole I'm working with is about 20 divided by 2. That's going to be 10. So after that, I'm going to mark this here, and then I'm going to just come down here by 1 inch for your shoulder slant. This is just me drawing in your normal bodies. So as you can see from the picture, it's almost like it has like a wider neckline. It's not a boat neck, but the neckline is wider. So I'm going to use 3.5 instead of your normal 3 inches. And then I'm going to also come down here by 3 inches, or yeah, 3.5 is what I'm going to use. So I made it 3.5 by 3.5, and then I'm going to just mark it this way. And then I'm going to connect this together. This is your shoulder slant, and then at the bottom part, you're going to divide your waist measurement by 4, and the waist measurement I'm working with is, so 34 divided by 4, that's 8.5 plus extra 2 inches, 1 inch of darting and 1 inch of seam allowance. So that's going to be 10.5. So I'm going to mark that here. I'm going to connect the two together. So you're just going to connect it, and then I'm just going to cut this out. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is for the back panel. So as you can see, I've cut out this for the front. So I'm going to move over to the back, and then I'm going to come up here by 4 inches. It depends on you what you want to use. So I came up by 4 inches, and then I'm going to just connect these two together, the top part of the shoulder to this point. If you want, you can just leave yours as a straight line, but the opening might not be that much. So for me, I'm just going to still follow that line, but with a little bit of curve. So if you like, you can just stop at this straight line. The back will be open, but just like it won't be that wide. So if you want to widen it up a little, just still follow that line, but now just go in and just give it like a curve, but still following this line here. So I'm just right behind this line, and then join it back up to this top part. So this is what I'm going to be using. So guys, I've gone ahead and cut this out. So I'm going to open up the back, the remaining piece at the back here. So you can see this is now the only seam allowance I have at the back. Every other thing was cut out. So this is the only part that I have now. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my dart. So like I said before, so guys, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to put in the dart. So from my shoulder to the peak of the shoulder to the bust is about 11 inches, right? Somewhere about 11.5, because I'm still going to remove half an inch here when I'm joining the shoulder. And then from that same point to waist is about 17.5, right? So what I'm going to do now is to check the distance of the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So I'm going to put in a straight line here. I'm going to mark that 4 inches from the midline of this front, this center front here. So I'm going to just mark my 4 inches. So this is the distance of the breast point. So what I'm going to do now is to put in my darts. So on my waist, this is the waistline, this is the shoulder to bust, this is the shoulder to the waist. So on this waistline, I'm going to just mark 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, and then I'm going to just connect it. You're going to stop about 1 inch below the bust. That's where my dart is going to stop, and then just connect it. Just connect it up to that point, right? So this is my bust line, shoulder to bust line, shoulder to bust line is here. So I marked 1 inch below that. That's where my dart will stop. But as you can see, this doesn't get to the end. This doesn't reach the hip point where you normally connect the second dart. So all I'm going to do is just to blend it in. I'm just going to try to blend it in here as if the line still continues. But if you're working with, like, you want yours to be cropped, this one is just a little bit longer than a crop top, about like 2 inches longer than a crop top. But if yours is ending as a crop top, then that means your top will be somewhere here. So your dart is just going to stop this way. But since mine continues, I can't just cut the dart short that way. I just had to like figure out how to blend it in to finish it up. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to also transfer this measurement all the way to the back. So I'm just going to notch it here so I'll know where it stops. So the next thing I'm going to do is on my front panel. So I'm just going to separate it. And then on my front panel, I'm also going to come down halfway through this armhole, which is about 5 inches here. I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch just to help my sleeve balance better, and then I'm going to curve it this way, and then curve this one this way, and then I'm going to cut this excess out. So guys, for my back dart, back dart is going to go up to 7 inches up here. So this is the back panel. My back dart is going to go up to this point. So I'm going to connect a straight line up to that point, and then I'm just going to transfer the dart. So the upper part of the dart is going to go up to this point, and then the lower part of the dart, this dart is going to be the same at the back, except it's going to go up to this point, but the lower part is still going to be the same, but the top part is going to go up to this point. So guys, I measured around the arm 11 inches, so I'm going to use this to cut my sleeve. Guys, the fabric is folded, so I checked and the 11 inches fits in here. So what I'm going to do now is to come down 4 inches for my sleeve cap part here, and then I'm going to just, so I'm going to measure from this point to this point here. I'm going to find midway of this line that I drew here, so that's about 12 inches. I'm going to mark 6 inches here. Halfway, I'm going to give it a curve going down, and then the upper part I'm going to give it a curve going up, so this way, like an S shape. So the next thing I'm going to do is to measure the cuff, because this is going to be the end of the sleeve. So I'm going to measure the around the cuff, what it will be, which is the wrist part. So that's 8 inches divided by 2, that's 4. So I'm going to add 1 inch to it, so that's like 5 inches. I'm going to mark that here, and I'll connect it to this point. So guys, my sleeve is done. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out lining for this here, because since it's not going to have any it's backless, so I need something to make it thicker. So I'm going to just double up the fabric, so I'm going to use lining. Join mine. As you can see, this is my dart here. Everything is done. So this is the sleeve. So basically what you have to do is to just use, you can use lining, or you can just go ahead, join the shoulder of the cloth together, put in your sleeve, and then use bias to finish it, and then put your zip. So it depends on you what you want to do, but I decided to use lining so that the fabric will have some thickness to it, so that when you wear it, maybe it won't be like, so that the nipple doesn't point out through the fabric. It has something to hold on to, like the fabric thickness. So the next thing I also want to show you guys is the zip. So this is a longer zip. I just cut it short, but what I'm going to do is at this end here, I'll just take fabric, right, and just maybe cut out about 1 inch of fabric. Like if you feel like this will be poking on your skin, just use 1 inch of fabric like this, cut something like this, and just cover it, right? Just sew it down on top like this, cut out the rest. So that's how you're going to finish this end. I'll still go back and put it, just tiny bit of fabric, use it to just cover this end here, and then just sew this like in a straight line so that it doesn't so that it won't be itchy at the finished it. This is the sleeve. You can use bias, like I said, you can use lining. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.